Okay, 72 days out from the meet, speed squats and deadlift day. Had another shitty sleep night last night, which is kind of a funny story on its own, but I could not help but laugh at myself thinking about my expectations for this training session, because even though like I probably got 3 hours of sleep, I woke up tired as shit and was just like laying in bed all night long staring at the ceiling. I feel so much better than I did previously when I was running a diet that I did not want to run. And now that I got food toned down, I have energy, like low sleep, but I have energy, and I'm actually pretty damn excited to get to training today. Getting the soft sleeves on for speed squats, but the reason me not sleeping is funny is, well, the reason that I'm not sleeping. And since I have been feeling more like myself, and I got the pep back in my step and shit is moving in the direction it needs to be moving in, I'm getting more and more excited about the meet, and what's happening is I'm like dreaming about meet day. Like I'm dreaming about squatting, I'm dreaming about deadlifting, I'm dreaming about benching on the platform. And then I wake up so freaking excited and I can't stop thinking about numbers and thinking about training. And I'm just like up all night, just brain spinning, trying to think about how I can set up this training cycle, which is probably a better problem to have than like having nightmares about the meet and being kept up by that. But it is just silly. Anyways, we're gonna get the sleeves on. These are 2-ply ELITEFTS super heavies, which me and I were talking about on the drive, are like the greatest training sleeve of all time, because not only do they never get stinky, they're way more supportive than a standard neoprene sleeve. They're not quite as stiff as the stiffer new generation neoprene sleeves, but you still get plenty of support. They are way easier to get on, and just a very pleasurable experience to train in. Like getting my foot up to get the sleeve over my foot is harder than actually putting the sleeve on. And if you're new to the channel, this is me documenting everything it has taken and everything it will take to go from ripping my pec off the bone and getting it reattached all the way to hitting my lifetime goals on the platform. So far, we came back from that pec tear in under 9 months to hit an all-time PR total, then started the process of losing over 100 pounds of body weight so that we can build back better, which is what we are working on right now. Not a whole lot of this has been fun or easy, but my hope is by sharing the journey, you will be able to learn something that will make you a better lifter. And more importantly, it will show you that no matter how tough a situation looks, as long as you don't quit on yourself, it will get better. Already made it through the first 3 sets of speed work. 0 back pump so far. Squat feels like me, so we're gonna keep trying to put some sauce on it for 4 and 5. The whole way through the first 3 sets, I've just been like, holy shit, it feels so good to feel like it's actually me underneath the squat bar. One more, going for more sauce. I'm stoked. And the thing with speed work is that people always want to complain about how it's too late, it's too easy, they don't feel like they're doing enough. But if the bar is not moving like that, and you're not taking sub 45-second rest periods, you're not doing speed work, you're just squatting light. So put some freaking sauce on that sucker. Try as hard as you can. Bring as much intent as you need to bring to your 3rd attempt squat on meet day. And that is how you're gonna get something out of it. And like, for reference, that is 315 with about 80 chain. Squatted 725 very easily on Sunday, so you don't need a lot of weight to get something out of it, as long as you're putting in the effort to get something out of it. So I'm gonna shut up, rip the sleeves off, and get to pulling. Update, got the knee sleeves off, and I'm a little bit cheesed watching tape back on those speed squats because I did the stupid thing I did last week, and I was setting up where it felt, you know, good, but my toes were way too far out, knees were way more out than they should have been. I should have been doing a better job of pulling into the adductors. So I gotta remember that and actually watch my sets on the way up on Friday so I don't screw that up again, but time to pull. And I guess I need to listen to my own advice, because the one exception I have for running alternate stress periods on speed work is that if a guy is struggling with something technical, I'd rather have them sacrifice rest time so they can watch the tape back between sets to make sure they're executing the way that they need to execute. And if they are not, the speed work is gonna give them many opportunities to correct it. So I guess I just gotta give myself a taste of my own medicine next week to make sure the squats don't suck, but we're pulling now. Two plates feels like 2 plates, which is good news. And the plan for today, still gonna be sticking to the more sub-maximal run and deadlifts, not doing true max effort work. So we're gonna work up to a triple. That is easy enough that we can build off of it next week. So I guess that means my job is to make sure 3 plates feels like 3 plates. But because I did watch the tape back last week, I realized I was probably a little bit too wide. So I'm trying to narrow her up just a hair so I can shove a little bit more knee over the bar and get more leg drive into the picture. Might have been like half a centimeter too narrow, but we can fix that for 4. And 4 plates here will be the figure out what kind of day we're having kind of set. So let's make sure to do good. And that didn't feel as good as I wanted it to. So we're going to take a conservative jump for what might be last warm-up. But I think what I need to do a better job is with that more forward knee travel, I just need more toe pressure, more quad tension. We should be able to get some snap back in the picture. So more toe pressure, harder pull in here, see if we can make her a little bit more betterer. I think that was a little bit better. And we got 625 on the bar here, which might end up being top set, which I will be okay with considering that it is a washout week. But with that, I better put some sauce on it. Fucking sucked, but whatever. And I gotta say, in the moment, pulling that, 625 did not feel as light as I wanted 625 to feel, but watching the tape back, I am pretty okay with how it moved. And one of the bigger reasons that we're able to get lifters in the team to make insane progress with the programming layouts that we run is that when we're running a 3-week wave, if we can get a lifter to understand that first week does not need to be heavy, it just needs to be executed well, they're going to be able to freshen up on that week 1 without taking a true deload, then progress over the next 2, and if we repeat that back to back to back to back over a whole bunch of waves, we unlock way better progress, especially when we're coupling that with a daily individualized coaching that everyone in there is able to get, so we can nail our accessories, nail our technique. Like, progress just becomes insane. And I'm so stoked on the team right now that I want to be able to help as many lifters as I possibly can. So we're running a free 7-day trial. So if you are stuck in your training, hit the link below, sign up. You can get free coaching for your first week. And if you're stoked, you can stick around. And if you're not, you can cancel at absolutely no risk to you. And as I was saying on Saturday, if we want to have a good meet, we got to start acting like an adult again. So straight to 4 on the stiff legs. Good enough with that one. And similar to the main pulls, like with this being week 1 of the wave, I don't want this to be too gnarly, too heavy. I want it to be heavy enough that I get something out of it, but I also want to make sure that we're not smashing the shit out of ourselves so we can progress over the next 2 weeks. And for the sake of continuing to build, let's make sure that set 2 doesn't suck. Yeah, I think it's going to be good enough to wake the deadlift back up. And I am definitely feeling the low sleep at this point, but total in December does not care how I feel today, so 3 plates for the sloppy rows. Good enough for set one. And before hypertrophy optimizers yell at me from execution on these guys, I am not doing this row for lats. I'm doing this row so I can drop the weight, catch it with my rectors and hips, because if I get stronger at that catch here, my rebound on squat starts to feel so much more assertive. So we'll crank out another one here. Good enough for set two. I am so glad we pulled fluid back so we feel good enough to be able to actually do that after all the deadlifts and the stiff legs. So stoked. On that note, gonna head over to that side of the gym and try something a little bit different for the quad slot today. And while I'm thinking about exercise selection, with how my hips are feeling on those pulls, I think that running the back extension in place of the reverse hypers on the weekend was a little bit of a mistake because my glutes are feeling a little bit empty and contraction quality at the top. So Friday, when we squat a day earlier than normal because of Darrell's meet, I think we will not be lazy and load up the reverse hyper. Trying to figure out how this thing works, but what I am really hopeful for here is that it does not feel terrible, so to have a nice, easy to use, easy to get into, squeezy quad option for today. Not sure the best back angle. I think this might be a-okay. Gonna drop myself. Oh, come on. There we go. A little bit lower in the range. Ooh. This might be phenomenal for what I'm trying to get out of this today. We need more weight, but gotta do a couple more. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Aiming middle of the stack because the Panada stuff is all really heavy, and that is, in fact, very heavy, so we'll get some good quad squeeze in here. Get the toes a little bit lower. Yeah, I am very okay with this. Thinking next set, I might actually drop the weight down, slide myself a little bit further machine, get more knee range of motion, but that's what the next set's for. Not sure what the best strategy will be to compact myself in here more, but yeah, that's plenty deep, so hopefully we don't die. I think we'll be okay. Oh, and I'm wishing we could get deeper. Let me just take my feet down, and then we'll figure out how to get in there when we slide ahead another notch. They need like a way to get in it, like when you're not at the bottom, but it'll be okay for now. Yeah, that's juicy. At the end of the set, I'm just going to be stuck. That feels phenomenal and managed to get it out okay. Thinking next one I might drop the weight down lighter and give it a try single leg. This may be too heavy. We'll see if it works. Oh, we're in. Oh yeah. This may be my new favorite machine of all time. Pistol squats, here I freaking come. And now righty is the knee that I previously exploded, so a little bit nervous, but we'll dig in. Oh yeah, that works. Now to figure out how to get down without dying. Oh, there we go. We made it. I will definitely be using this again because that was phenomenal. And next up, because we're over here, I'm gonna run the Nordics, and hopefully they're less pathetic than the last time I did them. Stopping doing these when I was 240 pounds and not doing them again until I was 290 pounds was apparently a mistake, but we're gonna rectify it. Not good enough to drop her down, but definitely better than last time, so we'll run another set here. And the goal over the course of the wave will be to progressively lower the sucker, so hopefully on week 3 we're down to 0 and it's not horrendous. So better give ourselves a half decent showing on the second set, and I'm also anticipating that my head was out of frame at the top of the first one, so I did move the camera back a little bit. One more. And that got gross in the best way possible. Which means it's now time to walk half a mile so I can go do my ab work. And another edition of trying to act like an adult. Got 50-pound kettlebell for the GHR sit-ups, which isn't as heavy as I should be going, but it is the heaviest kettlebell here, so hopefully we don't feel like we're gonna die. And if we do, we gotta suck it up, because if we want to squat what we want to squat, we gotta get the brace stronger. Didn't feel that terrible. I'm actually pretty okay with that, because the last time we tried that, it was much more feeling like my abs were going to rip off my pelvis again. I'm actually almost disappointed that felt as good as it did, because I was hoping we'd have a little bit more room before we needed to add more load into these, but whatever, I guess we can grab 2 kettlebells next time. Yeah, 2 kettlebells it is next week. And I mean, with the bad sleep 2 nights in a row, with this being a day closer to the max effort bench, a day closer to the max effort squat than it normally would, with having to train earlier this week due to Durrell competing on the weekend, I can't be too upset with how that went. And I think the best part about this for me is, even though I did feel low, I didn't feel limited by position, I didn't feel limited by my body, which is again more confirmation that running the food where I want to run it is going to be the better option to meet prep. And it's like, I do get it, because from Justin's end, I'm looking bigger, I'm not getting that much fatter, it looks like it's working, but from my end, I'm not trying to be as big as possible, I'm trying to be the best powerlifter that I can possibly be, and at some point, being too big, too bloated is going to get in the way of training, and I just ran into that point, and I think that I do need to have that little bit of pullback. If I do get a little bit lighter, deadlift lever should further come around, and I am very excited with how many good training sessions we've stacked back to back to back now. I think that keeping today in the pocket is going to let us continue to stack more sessions together, because with that 625, moving how it did on a day that I don't feel good, next week, assuming I should feel a little bit better since we will have more rest going into the session, I am quite excited. And what I'm thinking right now is next week can probably try to double around 665, and if we smack that, the week after we try to take a single at around 7, and that should set us up very well to get into our next wave. And I am just generally excited that things are starting to turn around, and it's just cool to see that it is coming back, because for a long while there, I was very, very, very worried that we were going to have a very not fun meet prep. But as long as I keep making sure that we're in the pocket, we're doing the right accessories, we're pushing hard enough to get the job done, we're going to have a pretty fun rest of this way in, and it should turn into a pretty damn cool total. So yeah, I don't know. If it is looking bad, it will get better as long as you do not quit. So peace out. Have a good night. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the team.